Welcome to Love Fitness Studios podcast, live from Manchester, UK, speaking to entrepreneurs in the fitness, health and well-being industry, sharing stories about the real-life challenges and hustle. Now, over to your host, Nick Phillips.
Okay guys, welcome to Love Fitness Studios podcast number 13. Today we have got celebrity trainer, Matt Nuttall PT. He's based over in Marbella now, so we're going to find out a bit about his life story. How's it going, Matt?
Yes, mate. It's all good. It's all good, mate. Yeah.
Fantastic.
How are you?
Brilliant. Well, thanks for giving up some time. I know you're a busy man, and we're doing it on your balcony. And we're based over in Salford Keys. So I want to know a bit about celebrities. Well, not celebrities. Like, you only have to go through your Instagram post and see like all the people that you've trained. How did you get into that? How did you get into so many sort of celebs?
I guess it's just by chance, really. You know, there was a time actually where there was this thing called, for anyone out there actually, it was called something called the guidebook or something like that, and you could get in touch with people's, agents and stuff like that. It had the handbook or something. It was called. That's how I ended up training a couple of people, but a lot of the celebrities that I've trained have just been by chance. I can't even remember. Like, you'll have to tell me. So obviously Nikki I trained for a while, probably over a year now. Nikki Sanderson, that is. Lauren Simon from Housewives of Cheshire. I literally just bumped into her at the gym and I started chatting to her. And obviously we're from the same neck of the woods, but we're both out here in Marbella. So I ended up doing a bit of training with her. Yeah. Probably the most famous one I ended up training was Frank Grillo. I don't know if you know. He was in, he was Captain America. He was in Captain America. Like, he was Crossbones in Captain America. So I ended up sparring him. And there was a bit of a funny one, that, because I ended up stalking him as well a little bit for a few days, like just hanging around like a bad smell. And I tell you when it all started, because I was never asked about training celebrities or anything, because it's all glamorous and stuff, but it doesn't really pay the bills. That's not where my passion is at. Because a lot of people want stuff for free, don't they? And why should they not? Because they'll get it free elsewhere. You know what I mean? So a lot of the celebrity stuff I've done has been for, we'll exchange it for, I'll put you on my Instagram and stuff like that. So it's a good business thing to have. Like, obviously people like yourself have seen that I train celebrities and stuff, but in terms of De Niro, it's not, a big payer sometimes. So Frank Grillo, I went over there, and the whole thing started in terms of celebrities because I needed to get media attention for my work as a trainer to qualify for a US visa.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm just this dude from Rochdale, right? It's a dump. I train like 30 odd sessions a week. I'm happy with what I'm doing, but how do I get hold of a celebrity, what do I do? So I had to look at who I trained and who those people knew and have a look at my network. So where am I going now? I've gone off on one. I'll do this all the time. You can bring me straight back.
That's good. I'm enjoying the story. So you're telling how you got in with the guy from Captain America.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I went to LA because obviously I got a job offer in Los Angeles at a place called Box and Burn, and it's like the #1 boxing for fitness gym in probably in Los Angeles. And so I had the job offer. I went over there and I spent some time with the guy. I did a podcast over there, which earned me, and some mega names have been on this podcast as well, like 7,500 new followers the day after on Instagram. So I felt like I'd won the jackpot. If ever you've wondered about millennial feelings, that was that day, And then I literally went over there to grab hold of some of these famous people that went in the gym, because my friend's like, all right, you need media attention, come over here. Frank Grillo trains in the gym. Brendan Schaub, who was the UFC fighter, he trains in the gym. Chris Van Eden, who's another boxer. And so I went there, and I thought I'd give it a couple of days before I start trying to peck anyone's head. I actually went in on the gym on the first day, and I thought, I hope he's not here. And he was there when I walked in, you know, so there was no pressure on. And I basically asked him if he wanted to scrap, you know. I should have said, do you want to do some pad work? But he was already doing pad work with his trainer, right? Who's like a WBO world champion boxer. So I was like, oh, do you ever do any sparring? And he's like, yeah, sure. I said, oh, do you want to do some sparring? Like, so basically just offered him out. And then I remember I'd gone all that way to get this media attention. I'd spent, I don't know, about $2,000 of money that I didn't really have to spend going there, but it was worth it for the overarching goal of getting the visa for living there, you know. So the pressure was on. So, but then he said like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. And I was like, okay. So tomorrow came, I was there, like, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, because I was so excited about training this guy and doing a bit with him. I get there and he's like, oh, we can't do it today because they're using the boxing ring. So I was like, right, okay, no problem. I come away from that like a little bit disheartened and started feeling like I'd spent all this money. I'd left my wife at home and, you know, she's going to be like, did you get anything? Did you manage to do anything? And nothing had happened. He said, we'll do it tomorrow, Wednesday. So Wednesday comes, go in the gym. I don't see him at all. He's not in there. So I'm like, I'm proper distraught by this time. So I've gone for a couple of beers, right? Yeah. I've gone down to Santa Monica. I took this other lad with me and we've gone and smashed, I don't know, maybe 4 beers, yeah? I come back all disheartened, a bit pissed off, but a bit merry as well because I've had a few beers, yeah? And he's only in the gym and I'm a bit mullered. And he said, do you want to do it now? And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So if you see the video of me doing a bit of sparring with Frank Grillo, I'm actually drunk at that point, which is quite funny. Nobody knows, but I'm actually mullered. And I didn't want to hit him because I thought, what if you flipping hit him and he's got a movie role or something and, you know. But in hindsight, mate, right, this is what I like to talk about, seizing the day and opportunities and stuff like that. That was a cool opportunity, yeah, but I should have banged him out or actually put it on him so he banged me out because that shit would have gone viral, you know. But so that started a chain reaction. My friend played football for, at the time it was Stoke, and he'd been playing for them for years. So I was like, maybe I could get something there with him. And he was getting ready for the Euro 2016, I think it was, the Euros for Ireland, Republic of Ireland. And so I got a little article with him. And like anything, right, if you just start it, it kind of just rolls on itself. So I don't know if people go away and talk and say, oh, like I trained like him, a guy from AC Milan, Ibrahim Bar, who was in the Coca-Cola adverts with the white hair, black guy. He was like, he played like, he's friends with Thierry Henry and stuff, you know what I mean? And it was like, I trained him. And then all the people do then is then they'll go and make up the rest of the story for you. So they'll go away and they'll say, oh, he's the guy who trains all the footballers, you know? When it's like 4 or 5, but people do the work for you afterwards. Like whether you know it or not, it's behind the scenes. People are talking about you and saying he trains this per, you know.
Yeah. You know what? It's an amazing story that, and like I said, I've been in the fitness industry 15 years, and I've never trained anyone. I've seen a few celebrities in the gym, but I've never trained any celebs. So yeah, it's a great story that. How long have you been a personal trainer, or how long have you been a fitness instructor?
So it's been 17 years now, yeah.
Wow.
I think I started like, and it was accidental as well. It wasn't like it was this up, right? So basically, hi mate, okay. Oh, it's all right, he waved at me. I've got a grumpy neighbour, like, and I'm talking quite loud, and he comes out shouting at the woman's dogs next door, yeah. So I thought I'm just gonna have to. No, he's all right, don't worry. I'll fill him in after. So yeah, where was I? Sorry, get off on one again. Yeah, I fell into it by accident because I needed money throughout university, you know, and I thought what I'm learning. I did sports science, a degree in applied sports science, but I'd had to go to college before that to actually get into university, and you know I just needed money. And everyone's like, oh, you can charge £30 an hour for a PT session. I'm like, okay, cool. if I can do 10 hours a day, that's 300 quid a day. If I can do 5 days a week, that's, you know, you do the maths. It doesn't actually work like that. But I did my gym instructor level 1, 2, and then got in a private studio and started there. And then never looked back, really, apart from one time I had a bit of a wobble, thinking that I needed a career path and stuff like that. You know, the pressures of society got to me, let's say, and I became a manager of a health club, fitness manager there, but it just wasn't for me at all. You know, I was stuck in an office. I was doing rotas. I was dealing with people's crap, and I was jealous of the kids on the floor. You know, talking to people and so I think that maybe comes as, like, you get a little bit older, you start thinking, oh God, what am I doing? Like, and now I'm 41, you know, and I'm starting life all over again here in Marbella, and I'm the strange person in the gym that's smiling at people and waving at them and hoping that they might train with me and hoping to build a business up and stuff like that. So, I fell into it by accident, basically.
Yeah. I think that is the trick. I think that is the trick as a personal trainer. You just got to be a nice person. You got to be a person that's actually wants to approach people. Want to approach you. You want to get to know them, and that's it. I think the average life of a personal trainer is about 8 months. And you're the same as me. When we got going in this game, there wasn't a lot of PTs, was it? But now again, you have to look through Instagram and just see everyone is a personal trainer or an expert in something. So yeah, I feel like you do need to take it back to basics. You just got to be a nice person. You got to be someone. When I worked in London, I'd become so popular because I was a northern lad that would go talking to people and just chatting. And I wasn't thinking money. I was just getting to know clients.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Money's secondary. Like, you know, it comes if you are genuine and you have you know, other people's best interests at heart. It comes to you anyway, naturally, doesn't it? You know.
You just got to let it flow. You can't put too much pressure on yourself on that. It is not, as you know, it's a tough game in the fitness industry, and as a personal trainer, it's tough.
Yeah.
You're up at silly o'clock. You've got to work till crazy hours, and I think people lose that, don't they? Was you always an active kid? Did you box as a child?
Yeah, I did. I did boxing as a kid. I did karate, and then moved into kickboxing. Then moved into like weed and started smoking a lot of that as a kid, like from the age of about 13 to what's harrowing about actually when I first started smoking weed is that the 2 kids in the year below me introduced me to it. So they must have been 12, you know, at the time. But I grew up in a boring village where there was nothing else to do and everyone just got stoned and stuff.
Where are you from? Where in Rochdale?
Yeah, like it's like little Emmerdale village called Wardle. I mean, it's a nice place and it's at the foot of the Pennines and all that, and it's beautiful in summer and stuff, you know. But there was nothing to do apart from cause trouble and smoke weed. So I lost a few years, but then I got a slap off the teacher for being cocky, and he introduced me. Actually, after that, I had a bit of respect for him after that, and he introduced me to weights. You say it now, like everyone just thinks, oh, you were groomed. But he brought me to underneath the sports hall where they stashed all the stuff. He had a little gym in there, like, and me and a few other lads used to go in there and throw weights about. It's mad because, like, I saw him about 6 years later in the gym and realised how strong he was, you know. It didn't even compute. And then I used to get in trouble fighting. The other lads in the village would always be scrapping each other and stuff like that. We're all really good mates and it's quite funny. But we used to scrap a lot, and my dad had enough. If ever I had a scrap as a kid, like the number one thing I always said to my friends is like, you get off, I'll deal with it, right? Because to be honest, I really enjoyed having a fight. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a scary situation for me. So I would get in the fight and tell them to bugger off. But I'd say to them, please, whatever you do, don't tell me dad. Don't go and get me dad, you know. And then they would always go and get me dad. And my dad would drag me around to the other kid's house and we'd have a flipping. We'd have it out there and he'd be like talking about building a boxing ring in their back garden and shit because we didn't have a back garden.
I love it.
It was funny, yeah. And then, like, it was one of his mates from college, actually, my dad's mates. He goes like, send him to boxing with me. So I gone back into the boxing, and then into the kickboxing when I got to university. And the kickboxing I kind of fell in love with because it had a structure for me. And I think that's what, if you've got ADHD or if you're a bit nutty, like, they didn't call it ADHD then, but you could definitely like look back on me even now, like, and people will say he's got ADHD, and like, you know, it was a structure and it was a goal. It was like, okay, so you can do this and you can get to a black belt. Okay, all I ever wanted was a black belt. So that's the first time I think apart from getting a degree, you know, it was one of the first times in my life I thought, right, there's an end point there, and I need that. Like, I need that to focus on, and that was the one. But I even switched focus because I started off in Kung Fu, and the quickest way, if you wanted to get a black sash in Kung Fu, you had to go and see this master, Jeremy Yao, and he'd only call you down like, it might be 7 years before you get your black sash. And I was like, I don't want to be a brown sash for 7 years. So I switched to the kickboxing because you could get your black belt in like 3.5, 4 years. So I did that. But before I did that, I did some sparring, and I was like, I fell in love with the fighting again. And I ended up fighting, ended up on their team. And then I ended up on the England squad within 3 years. And I think 2006, I got a silver in the British Nationals, which led, so you had to get bronze, silver, gold in the Nationals, which were once a year, to qualify for the England squad. So I made the team twice. After that, I lost my direction once. Funny, you know, like what they say about it's always about the journey. Because once I got the black belt, my head fell off. I was like, what the fuck do I do now? And they're like, oh, well, every third Saturday we do rolling, we do jiu-jitsu. So that's what you do for your second. And I was like, well, every third Saturday, if that's what you do for the next step, then I might as well just go and do that. So I've gone and started as a white belt somewhere else, doing the jiu-jitsu and that, you know.
The journey, yeah.
Always loved my stand-up. Went to the World Championships, bombed out in that. Got on the England squad again the year after. Got selected for the England Thai boxing squad to go and represent in Ibiza in 2011. And I think I had my last fight in 2011 because I was getting on a bit, and I got ripped off by a promoter, and I kind of fell out of it. You know, I just thought I've never been great at dealing with the nerves side of things. You know, and you know yourself, like adrenaline, it can be a disastrous thing, can't it? And sometimes I've fought and the adrenaline's took over and I've just burnt out. So, and I got knocked out in my last fight, and it was quite embarrassing because twice in my life I've sold tickets to fights, yeah. And the 2 times that I've sold tickets to fights and brought friends and everything, once the fight got stopped because I got my nose severely broken, and the second time I got knocked out, I was in the space of like 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
Because after the first time, I vowed never to sell tickets again and take people to a fight. I'll just go on my own, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was my background, and now I get to coach people and, you know, show them how to do it. And if they want to get punched in the head, now, I'm basically a big moving punch bag for people now.
I've seen it. I've been there. And you know what? It's a great feeling though when you're holding the pads and your client starts getting the techniques right and they're putting some behind them punches. It's great, isn't it? And it's such at the minute boxing's booming, isn't it, for fitness? Yeah. Absolutely booming. I think people are really realising it's like the ultimate workout, isn't it? If you want to get super fit, you just get fit.
On the up and up. I do nothing in terms of cardio apart from that. Unless I've got a pair of gloves on, I'm not interested, you know. Well, let's go for a run now. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Put some gloves on me. Yeah, all right. Let's do that, you know.
Yeah, you can, because you can switch off, can't you? You can switch off.
There's so many of my clients, I've got like, I did have like back home CEOs of big companies and stuff like that who have mad stressful jobs who say that is their most relaxing time of the week, you know, when they come and do 45 minutes to an hour on the pads. Like, you've got nothing else to think about but that, you know, and they liken it to yoga, you know, and relaxation.
That is where the magic is, and I don't know what, like, long time since I was at college doing, obviously getting the qualifications as a trainer, but I don't think enough of that is there. It's more the mental state of the way your clients feel. Do you know what I mean? It's like how to deal with that, how to make them. It's the most amazing experience for them. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of a good personal trainer, isn't it? It's like you treat every single one as individual. It's your first session of the day, or your last session, you might be knackered, you might be hungover, whatever. You've got to be in that session, giving it everything, so they walk away with the best experience and they want to come back and have more.
100%. It's about energy at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, and if you just, I always said to people, like, I think my gift on earth, if I've got a gift, is just to give people positive energy. Like, and I see myself as like, it sounds ridiculous, this, and people will be like, shoot you dickhead, but I see myself as just an infinite burning like light that just is able to give people, the right people, who give it back, you know, that reciprocate, because it's like charging a battery, innit? It's like, boom, you give it out, you get it back. And that's, you know, positive energy just breeds more positive energy. It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there, yeah, just well. And that, you know what? Yeah, 100%. You're a giver, exactly the same as me. You're a giver, and that's what it is. And you had to deal with any situations, I don't know, PTs you've worked with, clients where they've just, I call them fun hoovers. They just zap you.
Mood hoovers, yeah. But you know what? Like, even like a mood hoover to me is just a bigger challenge in terms of like figuring out how to, and that's what I pride myself in my job. Like, if I get someone who's a bit of a mood hoover, you know, if I can turn them around and turn them into a more positive person, and then that's the biggest mission for me, you know what I mean? I think that's a really hard person to deal with, but I will find something that me and him or me and her level on, you know, and I'll use that to make sure that I breed positivity in that person, and hopefully they will become more of a positive person from it, and then that'll just spread more, you know. So I always see that as a super challenge, and because sometimes I have to check myself in a session. I'm like, are you giving this person 100% right now? No, why? Because they're giving me a bit of negativity or whatever. But that's not their fault. They come here for my energy. So I just got to give it all. Right. And if I lose it all and I'm a bit tired after that session, chances are I'll have someone else who'll pick me up afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. Absolute rock star personal trainer. Right, let's go back to March 2020. Obviously, you're flying. Boris Johnson comes on to BBC and says all gyms must close. What's going on in Matthew's head?
I vowed to all my clients that I wanted them to remember me. Like I said to them all, I said, listen, I just want you all to remember me at the end of all this. So, like many other trainers who did the same thing, I just basically decided I was going to turn my whole life into a TV show, right? And I was just doing all sorts of random bonkers shit. I was doing like workouts 3 or 4 times a week. I even knackered my hip up doing the workouts. And I just tried to keep people's spirits up, because in trying to keep people's spirits up, it kept my spirits up as well. So it was a win-win situation. So, but at the same time, I knew that I'd been waiting 3 years. I think it was that year. No, I think it was the year before, actually, that my 3-year visa that I never actually obtained and held in my hand and never actually got to live in LA. Yeah. It was still running out. It had run out that year, and I was like, right, it's just been the biggest piss take of my life, and it's cost me close to 20 grand to try and eradicate. Oh, it's too long a story. That's another podcast, but it never came into fruition. And I was like, I'm still here, and I still don't live in the sun like I wanted to. Something has to change, and you know, I said to the missus, I actually had the laptop in my hand, and I was like, look, when are we going to go? Are we going to do this? Do you fancy Tenerife? Because I've got some friends over there. I could have worked with them. But she's like, she didn't fancy it. And I'd only been to Marbella on a stag do, like twice. So I can't really remember. I can't really remember Marbella, you know, because I was mullered. So she was like, I'd have gone anywhere, mate, as long as it was sunny. But the only reason I thought Tenerife is because I thought it was sunny all year round there, but it is kind of sunny all year round here as well. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So I had the ferry thing, and I thought someone needs to make an executive decision here. Otherwise, we're just going to back forward and backward about blah, blah, blah. I said, right, I've got it here. I'm going to book it. And she was like, she just shrugged her shoulders at me. Like, so I was like, bang, I booked the ferry trip, and we just worked backwards from there. It was kind of like, okay, on October the 13th, we're going to drive through France, and we're going to head down through France, through Spain, and we're going to land in Marbella. How are we going to do it? And we just worked backwards from there. And here I am, October. It's what is it now?
We're the 5th, are we?
Will your people see this?
5th. Yeah, of course they will. Yeah, show us what you got. As long as it's not rude.
I'm to switch the camera. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm dealing with now. You know what I mean?
It's a bit better than Rochdale, eh? It's not long Rochdale, but yeah, amazing.
Well, I've been so apologetic for being here since I've been here, because I know what people are going through back home, and I really feel for them, because, you know, I struggled through it as well. Like, so, but I've only just started coming to terms with the fact that I live here now, and it's okay to post stuff about where I live, because I love where I live, and you know, people don't know the backstory to how I got here. So I can imagine that people will be like, "Oh, look at this, he's showing off where he lives and stuff like that." Why not? Because, like, you know, my whole life's gone into this point now, hasn't it? You know?
Yeah, you're going to get that no matter what. You could go out giving food to the homeless 24/7. You're going to get someone with negative, "Oh, look at him showing off," or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You've got to live your life, haven't you? And I think that's the biggest thing with us. We had a gym for 9 years, and I was already looking before we ever heard of COVID. I was already thinking, what's next for me as a trainer? I've got 2 kids. I've got a dog and missus. I needed somewhere else. We had a gym in Radcliffe, and I was already thinking, I'm getting bored. I've done this for so long, 15 years, worked in London. I need something else. So when COVID hit, I thought, we went straight online, but we as you can see behind me, we've done it properly. We've done it with
quality. Look at that, mate.
We've done it with
decent.
But this is what I want to do more of. I want to speak to people that are in a similar game. I want to find out their stories, and I want to try and help more personal trainers that are coming through the ranks, thinking it's easy.
Yeah.
You're just going to train fit birds all day long. So this is my passion. Do you know what I mean? So this is, you got to go with your passion, haven't you? And
like, mate, 100%. 100%.
Got a lot of people slag us off about it. Like, I can't believe you just flipped it. Like, do you know what I mean? We have upset a few lives because they come to our gym and we didn't mean to. But you've also got to think what's right for you and your missus. Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's it as well. You're always going to get haters. You're not even haters. You're always going to get people that are it's not going to agree with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I lost a few followers, you know, since I come here. It's quite funny. But then obviously I'm in a different place now and I've got to create an audience here. So I'll gain more from this place, you know.
Of course you will.
And I actually came here because I wanted to be surrounded by positive people. And I think I am, you know, because everyone's a lot smilier. Because, I mean, what's not to smile at, you know what I mean? But sometimes I get bogged down with all the shit and I'm like, oh, I haven't got this many clients. I need to get to this. I need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then I think, and it's still the same shit here, the same pressures, the same stress, the same everything. But then sometimes I have to just come out on here and give my head a wobble and go, look where you live now, dickhead. Just breathe in that sea air there. Like, and I'll go and have a swim in the sea. I've been in it twice. I think that's a crime, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think that's so good, man. And you know, I heard something really good on a podcast the other day, and it was something about they worked out if you were around the age of 40, on average, how many hours are in a day and how many hours you sleep in. And if you were to put on a wall, if you were to live to say 70 or 80 and hit the stop clock and said, this is how many hours you've got left till you die, you'll never waste another second. And you know what? Yeah. Sometimes I used to pull out things and think, oh, I'll do that next week. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll speak to that person. And now, since I heard that, I'm thinking, I'm taking action on everything now. Do you know what I mean? It's a ticking time bomb, isn't it? We've got to live our lives.
And that will be the very definition of a midlife crisis, won't it? You know, when people start soul searching and thinking, I think it's just a realization that you're halfway through it, really, aren't you? You know, and shit, okay, I'm halfway through. I'm not where I want to be. Yeah, I know, but even then, like, I think, you know, if you get to the end, you might be like, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I just think it's too short anyway, isn't it? You know, to get everything in.
Of course it is. That's why you've got to live your life. You've got to go for it.
Well, you know what? The way I looked at it before I came here, I said to the missus, like, everybody, like, they basically, I mean, how many old people are out here? Yeah, they come out here to retire, don't they? Yeah. But what if you just lived here anyway? Then you wouldn't need to retire here. So, you know, I'll have been here 40 years, you know, as long as everything stays all right and everything's going really well at the moment. So I don't see why not. So I'm almost like, I do what I love for a living. And now the burning desire that was always the sunshine, mate, it's always revolved around the sun. I've always been my happiest when it's sunny and it's nice and I can come outside and it's dry and everyone's got a smile on their face. People are driving with the roofs down, and, you know, and now I'm here, you know. But even still, I still get bogged down with shit and I have to give myself a slap or take myself for a walk, you know.
100%, and that's it. Do you have any routines that you stick to in the morning, maybe, or do you have anything that you into your breath work, your meditation, or do you follow anything, or do you just wake up and just let's go?
I wake up and just let's go. I have my porridge in the morning. You know what though? Like, I'm probably too fidgety to meditate. I think I'm not willing to put the hours in to be able to get there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I could do with, and I'm in the perfect surrounding. I see people on the beach meditating and I think, oh, I need a bit of that. But my boxing is meditation for me. Having my porridge and a coffee here, like, and just looking at the sea, that's meditation. She leaves me alone, like, she'll know I've gone for my porridge and my coffee on the balcony and I just sit here and just stare out.
Aren't you? That is a type of meditation, isn't it? You just drink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm taking myself out of everything and just looking at the waves just rolling about, you know. That is a type of meditation. Boxing's a type of meditation. It's whatever it is for you, isn't it? I guess.
Of course it is. And if I say, I like I say, when I say meditation, I don't say think come by hour and all that sort of shit. I take my dog for a walk and I'll listen, have nothing on in my ears, and I'll just listen to the birds. And I'm talking 4:30 in the morning. No one else is out apart from bank robbers and bloody the police.
Yeah.
I'm literally like listening to everything. I'm just drifting away. Like, what am I grateful for today? Kids waking up, like all that sort of stuff. But for me, that's my meditation. Sometimes I'll sit there lying back listening to some sort of meditation music or something like that. But most of the time, it's just literally like moving meditation. Do you know what I mean? It's just a habit. It's get myself.
Yeah.
Because we need to be prepared, ready for our clients. Do you know what I mean? We need
100%. Like, I remember years ago, I went on a course and he was saying, like, you got to select your state for your client. So it doesn't matter what mood you're in. Like, no one gives a shit. They're paying you money for you to be Mr. Consistent and Mr. like upbeat or whatever. So sometimes you take a mood into work with you. It has to go. It has to stay at the door. So I used to do this thing where I go to the mirror and have a look at myself and look in the mirror and think, that person want to see this miserable face now? No, that's not what they're paying for. Slap. Sort it out. Smile in the mirror. Off you pop, you know.
We got taught that in college for personal training. Where did you do your quals?
It was probably 2002-ish, 2003. Yeah.
Where did you do it?
I did the fitness business. What were they called now?
Wasn't Premier, was it?
No, not Premier. My mate did Premier. It was fitness agents or something. I think I did Focus. CYQ or whatever it was. Yeah, Focus.
Yeah, no, I say. Well, then we were taught the same. Then we were taught by our old coach Doug. I always remember he used to say, "If you're not feeling it, go into a mirror, give yourself a head wobble. This person's paying for your session. Do you know what I mean? You need to be the best version of yourself." So yeah, no, love it, mate. You seem very similar to me. So where do you see yourself? Like, what? You're 41 now. Where's Matt going to be by he's 45?
Well, listen, I love training people, and I'm old school to the day I die. Like, I want to see people, and I want to see different people every single day. So my aim is to get like 5 sessions a day PT from the morning till the early afternoon. That's it, Monday to Friday. I have a Saturday overspill because I love that. And then have the afternoons just chilling in the sun. But I know sometimes I think like I could have a nicer car, and I could have this. Although it doesn't float my boat so much, and I don't get bogged down with. I mean, it's hard not to though here. Like you go down in Bernous there, and it's just Ferrari this, Ferrari that, bolts this, bolt that. I'm just like, yeah, that looks cool. and I know that I'm limited because I do PT for a certain amount. So I've got the online stuff as well. I'm going to try and push that a little bit more. And because I didn't believe in that for so long, you know, I was just like, nah, you can't get results. You can't get results with people online. Yeah, I'm proving myself wrong time and time again. And it's just about accountability, really. And people like might respect me. That's why they've chosen to work with me. And as a result, they don't want to let me down weekly. And if that is still there.
Yeah, still there, yeah.
Sorry, mate. You said earlier, didn't you, about the battery? And I'll come back and it's like 10%. I'm like,
Right, well, we've got 10 minutes left. Go on.
Yeah, well, so I've started having really good success with people online, and I've been building that, and I built another program that is a standalone program that somebody can do on their own that I actually believe is really good, you know, because it's what I've done forever. Yeah. And it just cuts all the bullshit out of the industry because people's heads get pecked left, right and centre with salesy crap. Yeah. So I've got a standalone program. I've got the online program. I could do with building that a little bit more, but I'm lazy. I will admit I'm lazy. But if I've got afternoons free and I can have a brew on here and start pushing it a little bit. And also I want to get into some property while I'm out here. And because I got some money from a house that I sold in the UK. And I'm well aware that, you know, rich dad, poor dad, build your asset column. Yeah, I'm sat on that money. It's doing absolutely bugger all for me. You know, I've got it in NS&I, and every month I go, oh, we might have won something today, and no, we've never won anything. Or no, we've never won anything. Like, so I need to take a bit of a gamble with that and see if I can flip something over here and maybe get into some property, and then maybe in 5 years' time I can chill completely and you know, get a nice car and a boat or whatever.
I love that.
Or just train every day in the morning and just live in the sun. Buy a nice little villa and just chill out. Sit in my flipping Speedos, my leopard print Speedos with cooking oil on in the back garden, and turn into a fucking rotisserie chicken.
I love that, mate. Absolutely brilliant. But listen, you seem like my type of guy. You're one of us, which is brilliant. I would love to get you on another podcast. I feel like we need to dive a little bit more deeper in there, but I'm worried your battery's going to run out.
Yeah, anytime, mate. Anytime. I'd you know, I love this. I love chatting to people, especially when you're talking to like-minded people. It's that sharing energy thing again, isn't it? You know,
I bet you
got good fun.
Accent, don't you?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know what? That was the one thing I missed when I lived in London. It was me and Northerners. Do you know what I mean? We're definitely a type.
My mate said when he moved to London from Brighton, he said, like, I said, did you like it? He said, no, I hated it. He said he'd be going down to the tube, like, and he got to the point where the tube would say 4 minutes on it, and he'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake, 4 fucking minutes. Right, proper pissed off about 4 minutes, you know what I mean? And you wait an hour for a bus up north, you know what I mean?
In the rain.
In the rain, yeah.
Right, amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on. What I'll do is I'll put your link to your Instagram on there. Is there anywhere else where anyone can find you? Where you keep the magic?
It's Instagram mainly, and everything else is on there, isn't it? It's like a modern day business card, isn't it?
Oh, are you on this new thing that's going absolutely crazy in the minute? This Clubhouse. Have you got yourself?
No, but I've heard about it. It's TikTok, and now it's Clubhouse, is it?
Clubhouse is the one. It's blowing up. I believe Mark Zuckerberg was in there last night, and he made the whole thing crash. So it's like an interactive podcast, but only voice, where you can ask questions. So I was in there.
Mate, that's awesome.
Oh, it's sick. So I was in there this morning with Will King, who's the king of shaves. He's the guy behind that. So I'm launching a boxing product. We're about to launch like a heavy-duty, made in the UK, heavy boxing frame where you can take the water bags. So we're about to launch that. So I was asking him about pre-launching and stuff like that. So get yourself in Clubhouse, mate. Follow us. It's Love Fitness in there. But yeah, it's really...
I will, definitely. I'm going to have a look in a minute, actually. Once I charge my battery up.
Right, brilliant. Thank you so much, Matt. All right.